Hello and welcome to Big Foodie Geek. I hope you are well. Now today I'm returning to another cookbook. You might be thinking, Matt, you're using a lot of cookbooks lately in your videos, and yes, you'd be right, because I am so busy lately. I don't have a lot of time or money or anything like that. So I'm using these cookbooks to try and help me with content. Leave me alone, okay? But I'm returning to another cookbook, and that cookbook is this one, Signature Dishes That Matter. I probably made a face there when I nearly threw that at myself. But Signature Dishes That Matter. We are returning to this one probably after about 3 years, I think. It was 3 years since I did the last video on this one. In fact, probably the first and last video on this one, because I made a Philly cheesesteak from this book. Oh, there we go. That looks like a Philly cheesesteak to me. This is packed full of recipes that are considered signature dishes from like the last 300 years. There are, I want to say hundreds, probably at least over 100 recipes in this book that range from fancy stuff to more iconic dishes that are considered simpler. So there's the Philly cheesesteak. I did that a few years ago. It actually turned out really well. It is absolutely delicious. But right next to that, you've got husband and wife lung slices, which is a little bit different. And that is a Chinese recipe from 1933. So there are multiple recipes in here from all over the world, from all different time periods. And it goes back as far as 1686, which actually is a gelato recipe. So that is how old gelato is. That is news to me. So it has a range of recipes in it from all over the place. And it is really, really interesting, actually. It's one of those nice coffee table books that you can just leave out and people will have a thumb through and go, oh, interesting. But I'm not going for any of the super fancy recipes today, but I am going for unquestionably an iconic dish, one that many, many people over the world will have heard of, and it is just known throughout the world. It is the Big Mac. Yep, we are going to attempt to recreate the Big Mac. I say we, I mean I. But I'm going to attempt to recreate the Big Mac. Not make better. I'm not going to try and make the Big Mac better. I'm going to try and recreate it as accurately as I possibly can. Now, it wasn't actually the McDonald's brothers who created the Big Mac. It was actually an owner of several McDonald's franchises located near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that made the American dream food even bigger. It says, in searching for a burger that would boost profits and draw new customers after McDonald's repeatedly turned down his request for a double patty burger, Jim Delegati sandwiched 2 beef patties between not 2, but 3 sesame seed buns, adding cheese, lettuce, pickles, onions, and a special sauce. Long believed to be a Thousand Island dressing, in 2007 it was revealed to be a combination of mayonnaise, sweet relish, yellow mustard, cider vinegar, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. Whew. And unlike some of the dishes in this book, it does not actually have an actual recipe, because it says it's no real secret. 2 hamburgers between 3 pieces of hamburger buns with sesame seeds. Add cheese, lettuce, pickles, and onions, and it's a special sauce that will never be exactly revealed by McDonald's. So basically, I've got to take that combination of ingredients, if I can get my hands on them, and see how accurately I can make that special sauce. So what I'm going to actually have to do is get a hold of a Big Mac and check it, because I haven't had one for God knows how long. I haven't had a McDonald's for probably like a year, and I haven't had a Big Mac for even longer than that. So I've got to get hold of one to find out exactly what it's made of, how it all tastes, what the burger's like, and just generally try and see what the composition of it, so I can try and recreate it as accurately as I possibly can. And I'll probably throw a milkshake in there as well, because I haven't had one of those for about a year as well, and they are really good. They are just a guilty pleasure. So I'm going to head off, try and get hold of a couple of Big Macs and see if I can recreate that signature dish that matters. Let's go. Right, I've just got back from popping out. In that time, I managed to get soaking wet from rain and then dry out from the sun, because that's the British weather that we're having this summer. But I returned successful because I have McDonald's, and I actually have not 1, but 2 Big Macs, because I thought I'll need 2. One for kind of like taking apart and analysing and all of that stuff, and one for comparing at the end. So I have 2 Big Macs, which is probably 2 too many, to be honest, but this is what we're doing today. Let's open it up. And there is a Big Mac, well, part of a Big Mac. You can't see it all out of the box. Let's get it out of the box and have a close look. Doesn't look too bad, actually. I've seen some that look like they've been head-butted before, but this doesn't look too bad. Lettuce is going everywhere. There is a Big Mac. It looks smaller than I remember, or maybe I'm bigger than the last time I had one. Probably that one. Well, probably both, actually. This thing is what I'm going to try and create. They do look a bit different to what they do in the photos, don't they? But this is still not the worst looking Big Mac I've ever seen. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Oh, and I did get my milkshake as well. I went for banana one because banana is the superior flavour. And anyone who says otherwise is wrong. And I will probably try and make a milkshake as well today, but I'm not going to try and recreate these exactly because God knows what goes into these. But you can't have a McDonald's burger without a milkshake, and if I'm trying to recreate the Big Mac, I might as well try and make a banana milkshake to go with it. Cheers. Right, here is our closer look at our Big Mac. It is a sorry looking thing, isn't it? I don't know what it is about them. I mean, they're loved the world over, but they are never going to be the best burger anyone ever has, unless they're the only burger someone ever eats. Let's have a look. So we've got the top bun, and these buns are quite, you know, got a distinctive colour to them. They're quite golden, which leads me to believe they're a little bit enriched. Not a lot, but they're not going to be like a plain bread bun, but they're not brioche either. It's only toasted on the top, so there's no sauce on the top. And then we've got a burger patty here. They're very thin, they're quite pappy, you know, they're not like soft melt in your mouth burgers. They've got a bit of chew and bite to them, like the meat's been a bit overworked. And then underneath there you can see some of the sauce on there. That's got to be the trickiest thing to kind of recreate, especially as all I've got to go on is this. But it's quite sweet, the sauce. In fact, it's very sweet. So I'd be interested to know what the ratio of everything is. We've got the lettuce there, which is kind of like chucked together, chopped up and chucked together. Then we've got a few pickles under there, which is always the best bit of any burger, quite frankly. And then let's turn that one over again. Again, nothing on that base bun there. And then we've got another burger with a slice of cheese, which is now kind of like congealed onto it. And more lettuce and sauce there, and a bottom burger bun with all that sauce and onion, and there's some gherkin in there as well, some pickle, I think, chopped through there as well. That might be part of the sauce. That is a Big Mac. That is the breakdown of Big Mac. This is what I'm going to try and recreate. I'm not going to try and make it better necessarily. I'm going to try and recreate this experience as close as I can. For better or for worse, this is what I'm sort of aiming for. So while I was out for like the buns, I was having a look in the shop and I couldn't see anything that kind of suited my needs really. There was like brioche buns, and again, this is not a brioche bun, it is not that enriched. But at the same time, it wasn't like the basic like sesame seed buns there. It is a sesame seed bun, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. It is slightly sweet, like most things mass manufactured like this. It is a bit sweet, so it's probably got some sugar. It might even have some butter, some milk maybe in it. Slightly enriched, almost like a milk bun, but not quite. So what I think I'm going to do is make my own bun. Let's go all in. Let's make our own buns to try and recreate the Big Mac, because that seems like the way to go. So let's get started with that, because that's going to take a bit of time. And while the dough is proving, I can then start trying to analyse that Big Mac sauce. So I'm just going to have a quick bite of the bun by itself. It may seem weird, but I just want to try and nail down what I want to get out of this burger bun if I'm going to recreate it. And let's have a quick bite of it. There is a slight sweetness to it, sorry, eating with my mouth full, which does lead me to believe that it is like slightly sugary, maybe a bit of milk or something like that in there. So I'm going to see how close I can get to this and create my own Big Mac burger buns. Right, here's what I'm going for with my Big Mac burger bun ingredients. So I've gone for 2 types of bread flour, strong white bread flour and plain flour, because it's quite a soft bun. So I'm going for those 2 types of flour, so I'm not using purely strong white bread flour. Then, as I said, it's a bit enriched, so I've got milk here instead of using water. I've got some butter here, which I softened a bit too much, but there's 50 grams there, because that will add to that enriched taste. And so will 50 grams of sugar as well, because again, I said it's quite sweet, so we're going to use that. And plus the yeast, which we've got over here, will absolutely love that. There's 10 grams in there, and also a teaspoon of salt, because always season your food, no matter what it is. So what I'm going to start off by doing is putting in my milk into the bowl of my stand mixer, along with my yeast and my sugar. That's my sugar, not my sugar. Then I'm going to whisk that together quickly, just to combine it. Then I'm just going to give that a few minutes to start doing its thing, because I just want to make sure that yeast is active. Right, it's been a few minutes and you might be able to see we're getting some bubbles here where the yeast is starting to do its thing. So we're going to get the rest of our ingredients in there. So in we go with our plain flour and our strong white bread flour, our teaspoon of salt and our butter, which is starting to solidify again. Bloop. Then on with my dough hook. I'm just gonna let that knead for about 10 minutes. Right, that's been 10 minutes of kneading, and that dough is looking pretty good actually. It's looking very, very nice. So I'm gonna pop that back in the bowl, cover it with some cling film, and I'm gonna leave that prove for about 40 minutes. I'm gonna see how it is, and then if it needs longer, it needs longer. But while that bread is proving, I'm not gonna rest on my laurels because I wanna figure out this, the burger sauce. That's gonna be the trickiest part because it's so distinctive and you don't know the exact quantities. We know what's in it, or at least what they tell us what's in it. Mayonnaise, sweet relish, whatever's in that, yellow mustard, cider vinegar, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. That's it apparently, but who knows what else they put in there. So I'm gonna have a taste of this. I wish I had like a pot of it or something so I could actually just taste the sauce, but this is what I've got. This is what I have to make use of. Yeah, it's slightly sweet. It's tangy. It's just something that you know it's a Big Mac burger sauce. It's so distinctive. It'll be really, really hard to try and recreate it. I definitely taste the mustard and there's a tang to it, which could be like the sweet relish. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really, really tricky. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get it exact at all. So I'm just gonna have to get as close as I can with what I have available to me. And speaking of what I have available to me, here's what I'm gonna be using. So I've got mayonnaise here, not a lot left, but it should be enough for what I need. American mustard, cider vinegar, garlic granules because I don't have garlic powder, and likewise onion granules because I don't have onion powder. Paprika, and because I don't have sweet relish, I'm going to add in some sugar and some pickle juice and probably chop up some of these pickle slices as well to kind of create like the relish, because I couldn't get hold of any kind of relish that I thought would do the trick. So this is what I'm going to substitute instead. Then I'll also season it with some salt and then I'll take it from there and just see how I get on. I might need to add some other stuff. Right, let's start out by weighing out my sauces. So I'm going to go in with probably about maybe 50 grams of mayo to start with. Oh, it's going everywhere. Oh, look away people. Then I'm going to go in with 25 grams of my mustard. So it's like a 2-to-1 ratio of mayo to mustard. Because when I was tasting it, I could definitely taste mustard, but mustard is also a more overpowering flavour than mayo. So I don't want to go like 1-to-1 and potentially just have like a whole mustard taste. Let's mix that together quickly and see what that colour comes out like. Okay, that's very, very yellow at the moment, but we've still got paprika to go into it. So that should bring it to that kind of more slightly, not orange, but more orange than that flavour. Colour. I'm going to quickly finally chop up a slice of pickle. And because that's subbing out our pickle relish, I'm going in with a teaspoon of sugar to start with. We might need more. And I'm also going to put in a teaspoon of the pickle juice as well. Let's give that all a mix through. My battery went part way through that and I didn't notice. So what you missed out on was me putting my onion granules and garlic granules into a pestle and mortar to grind them up even finer. As you can see, they're quite coarse, so I didn't want them that coarse, so I ground them up in my pestle and mortar. So let's mix those powders in, and we need to do something a bit about that colour because it is still too bright yellow. This is where our smoked paprika, not smoked paprika, just paprika, regular paprika, comes in handy because it did not say smoked paprika. Let's go with a rough teaspoon of paprika. Let's mix that in, hopefully that'll turn the colour a bit more what we want it. A little bit, still like grainy. Makes you wonder what they do to make theirs not green. Do they even use paprika? Perhaps it's like a paprika colour or something like that, who knows. Give it a quick taste, I just want to see how it's coming along. Oh, sort of, but it's kind of there. It's got too much mustard though. Let's add a squeeze more mayo.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Right, mayo. Give that another taste with the mayo. That's a little bit more like it. I haven't put any cider vinegar in yet, so let's put in a teaspoon because I did use some of the pickle juice earlier and that's already kind of got a tang to it. Let's pop that in. Let's taste without vinegar in it. Now you get that cider vinegar tang. So I think it needs more sugar to balance that out. I know it doesn't say to add this, but I'm going to add a bit of ketchup because it's going to have that fruitiness, that sweetness, which will hopefully give it a closer taste to that Big Mac sauce because I find it's missing something at the moment. Not too much, just a quick squeeze, because a lot of good burger sauces have ketchup in them, and I struggle to believe that this doesn't have it in somewhere. Right, taste. That definitely takes it closer. That's the closest it's been. I don't want to muck around with that too much more. I think I want to just thicken it up a little bit, maybe just a little bit more ketchup. So, to thicken it up, I have got some corn oil. because corn oil goes into a lot of things in the US, and I think it'll give it a little bit of colour, thicken it up a bit when I whisk it in, and then with a bit of ketchup, that might be there, as close as I'm going to get anyway. So let's give it a splash of corn oil. Just really whisk that through. Right, that's a little bit thicker than it was, and the colour looks better as well. Let's give it a taste. Now it's not bad, you know. It's not, yes, that is a Big Mac sauce, but it's reminiscent of a Big Mac sauce. I'm just going to try it alongside what I've got there. I mean, the colour's similar. Just give it, I'm just scraping burger sauce off a burger bun. This is what my life is at the moment. Yeah, what I think is when that's mixed with like lettuce and onion, that'll be pretty close. I'm not going to mess with it too more because I'm quite happy with how that is, and I could tinker with it and ruin it. And I don't want that. That is close-ish. It's not a Big Mac sauce. It'll never be a Big Mac sauce, but it's like a second cousin to a Big Mac sauce. It's a Big Mac sauce. There you go, it's a Big Mac sauce. Right, I'm going to cover that with some cling film and pop that into the fridge for later. I just checked in on my burger bun dough, and it's almost there, but not quite. Just needs a bit longer on that first proof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear down some of this mess a bit, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tackle my meat. What I mean is I'm going to shape the patties for the burgers because they are a very specific size, very specific shape, and they are probably a very specific weight as well. So I want to get those formed so that I'm not mucking about later. Right, we're working on the bun. We've done the sauce. Now it's time to tackle this. God, it's looking sorry for itself, isn't it? Ugh. Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, this is what we got to recreate. Very, very thin, and I want to know how much this weighs. Let's put one of these napkins I got from McDonald's to use. So, cooked, this patty weighs 32 grams. So I probably want actually more mince than 32 grams because when I cook it, it's going to shrink, some of the fat's going to come out, it's going to naturally weigh less than what I put in. So I'm going to say maybe about 50 grams of patty. That's not a lot, but we'll give it a go. We'll do 50 grams of patty and see how we get on. So I've got 2 lots of beef mince here. It's 20% fat. That's what I had, and I'm not in the habit of going out and buying stuff I don't need to when I've already got it in the fridge or the freezer. So that's what I'm using. I actually weighed out 60 grams in the end, not 50 grams, because 50 grams just did not look like a lot. So my logic is I'm giving it an allowance of losing almost half its weight when cooking. So hopefully that will do. Now, I wouldn't usually recommend doing this with your meat, but I'm going to work it really hard because I kind of want it to have that pappiness, that almost like overworked texture of that Big Mac burger patty. And when you overhandle your meat, it does that. Whereas if you want a really nice like melt in your mouth burger, you don't want to overwork the meat. So those have had about a minute of being worked. You can see the texture's changed a bit, almost more meatball-y now. So I think that'll do. So I want to get these shaped into patties. So that's the sort of patty I want to go for. And I'm going to cut out my meat using this cutter, which is slightly bigger, but again, I'm assuming that's going to shrink. That's probably about right. Hopefully it'll just allow for some shrinkage by using that. Okay, patty number 1, no relation to Mumbo number 5. I'm going to press that down. Then I've just greased the ring to stop it sticking to the meat. And then I'm just going to cut out just a round, nice patty. Let's take away the meat from around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Then I'm going to put it back inside the ring, because again, I want to keep the same weight. Let's take that away. Just quickly flatten and even that out a bit more. That doesn't look too bad. That should hopefully get us our patty. So I'm going to pop that back on there, and I'm going to work on the other patty. So I'm going to put those in the fridge until later, and I'm going to see how our burger bun dough is getting on. Right, here's our burger bun dough. It's deflated a little bit because I've just taken it out of the bowl, but I need to knock the rest of the air out of it anyway. This is the therapeutic part. Now, I want to try and get that sort of size. 4 or 6 pieces, I think. Let's try 4 to start with, and if it needs to be 6, it can be 6. That's in 4 pieces, and I'm just going to shape it into balls just to see how we get on. Yeah, I reckon 4 should be good for our burger buns. So now I'm happy with my size. Just get these into a tighter ball as possible, just get under there. Then I'm going to cover these with a clean tea towel. So I'm going to leave these for about 45 minutes to have a second proof, and I can have a bit of a sit down. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes and here's our burger buns. Looking pretty good. So I think it's time to get these egg washed, get some sesame seeds on them, and then get them in the oven. So let's get a good egg wash all around this, because they were a pretty good golden colour, those. I will give them that. Let's get some sesame seeds over these. And I'm going to get these into the oven at 200 degrees C for about 15 to 20 minutes. In they go. We'll see in a bit. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Let's have a look at these. Oh, hello. Whoa, hello. Hello indeed. Wow, they have come up much bigger than I anticipated. But that's okay because they are so chunky, I might be able to slice them into 3 to get a Big Mac burger bun. So I might only need 1 to actually use on my burgers. So I'm going to let these cool for a little bit, and then I can chop up some veg to get that prepped, just some lettuce and onion that we'll need for the burger, and then we can cook the burgers, and then we can construct the Big Mac. We're getting there. So I've chopped up my lettuce and onions, but my burger buns are still cooling down. So I thought now would be a good time to make a milkshake to go with our Big Mac. But God knows what goes into a McDonald's milkshake, so I'm not going to try and figure out what goes into it. I'm just going to try and create myself a good banana milkshake to go with my Big Mac. And I've got actual bananas, I'm going to put real bananas in there, but the banana milkshakes from McDonald's, they've obviously got that kind of like fakey banana taste, which I actually really like. You know, like the banana sweets, the banana foam sweets, they're really good. But that's the kind of flavour that I want in my milkshake, so that's why I've got hold of some of this. This is basically a banana flavouring. It is never probably seen a real banana in its life. It says natural flavourings, but natural could mean anything. It sounds weird, but it's got that real fake banana smell to it, so I'm going to be putting some of this into it. It is fantastic, it smells amazing, it is exactly what I like in a fake banana smell. Maybe I'm wrong in liking that so much, but I do, and that is what's going into this. And everything else is just going to kind of like, you know, make up a nice milkshake. So I'm going to make that now, and I can pop it in the fridge to have at the end with my Big Mac. Right, so we're just going straight into a food processor to blend all this up. So I've got 3 whole bananas here. Those are going to provide some banana flavour, but also just be kind of like a thickener for our milkshake. Going to put in a good wedge of ice, about half a pint of whole milk, full fat milk, whatever you want to call it. 4 generous scoops of vanilla ice cream. Again, this stuff says high strength, used by the drop, 1 milliliter per litre in beverages. Well, I want that strong banana smell, so I'm going to go with 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably more than that, never mind. And I'm going to just blitz that up on full power. That looks not quite thick enough. Do I go with another banana, or some more ice cream, or both? I'm thinking both. Another scoop of ice cream, and another banana. That definitely looks thicker, but is it going to be banana enough? Quick taste. Nowhere near enough banana. Don't know how much of this I'm going to do, but I'm going to do a lot. Still not enough. Oh, there we go. That's got that fake banana flavour that I'm after. That is very, very nice. Right, we're on the final stretch of recreating the Big Mac, and look at this, look, here's the Big Mac from earlier. Here's my bun. That is just like bigger than the whole thing, but that's fine. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to try and cut this into 3, so this is the whole bun. So rather than taking one of the other ones, cutting the bottom off and using the bottom as the middle, I'm going to try and cut a middle out of this bun. Make sense? I hope so. So I want to try and carefully cut this into 3, so let's try and go along the bottom here. So that's our bottom, that has come out very, very nicely. And now I want to slice through this to get a middle and a top. Tricky, I'm going to try and do it as straight as I possibly can. Right, there we go. We have got our 3 parts of our bun. And before I cook the meat, I just want to toast off these buns so they are ready for construction. So I'm going to get these toasted nice and golden, and then we can actually cook the burger. The size of the middle one was bothering me, so I just trimmed a bit more off. That looks better. It's a bit more even. And I must confess, I ate the trimmings. They were very nice, slightly sweet, which is what I was hoping for. Because they don't have frying pans at McDonald's, I have dug out my metal griddle. I'm just going to put my burger buns down, just get them toasted. Right, I think those are all a good level of toasted. So I don't want to overdo those, so those can come off. Burgers, let's get these done. So, sad to say, this is kind of what I'm after. This little thin, sad little patty here is what I'm after. We'll give it a taste. It's cold by now. Very little flavour, it's all that sauce. So I'm probably not going to season my patties very much at all. A little bit of salt, definitely no pepper, there's nothing like that in there. A beef patty with not much seasoning. everything else is doing the hard work. Well, we've come this far, then back to my griddle. I'm just going to pop on a bit of corn oil, and I'm just turning the heat down to pretty much as low as it will go, because usually I'll cook burgers on a sort of a medium-high heat to get some nice colour and stuff on that one. But those Big Mac burgers do not have a lot of colour to them, so I'm going to cook them slow to not get as much texturization on them. So on with one, on with two, and it's only been like 10 seconds, but I'm going to flip them already. See, that's already getting a bit more colour than I probably want it. Perhaps move it to the back where there's not much heat. Indirect heat here, I think I'm going to do. I'm just squashing these now just to kind of like get them as thin as I possibly can. A lot of the fat's coming out. Maybe I should have used a lower fat mince, but this is what I had. Well, those look cooked. They come out pretty small because of all that fat coming out of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off, place them onto some greaseproof paper, a bit of kitchen towel over that, and I'm going to press them out with a book. I'm going to use Paul Hollywood's face. Well, those are the sorriest looking burgers I've ever made. Right, I'm going to pop those to one side to rest for a bit, and I'm just going to get on with constructing the rest of the burger. So I'm just using a plate for now. We need some of our Big Mac sauce, or Big Mac sauce in this case, and then some white onion, sporadically chopped, some haphazardly cut iceberg lettuce, and then a plastic slice of American cheese, and then one of our sad looking burger patties, and then on with the next layer, and then more burger sauce, then more onion, more lettuce, then we need burger pickles. I think I saw about 3 in there, so 3 is what I'm going for. Then the second burger patty, and finally our lid with no extra sauce or anything on top of that. And that is my attempt at recreating the Big Mac. Still looks a bit too good. It still looks a bit too good, a bit too fresh. So I'm going to pop some water in a bowl next to it, and I'm going to take it and put it into the microwave, and I'm just going to give it 10-20 seconds in here with that water just to kind of steam it, just to give it that, like, you know, freshly bought steamed socky experience you get from McDonald's. There we go, that feels better, or worse depending on your take. It just feels a bit softer, like it's a bit soggier, and it doesn't feel like that burger bun's like fresh out the oven. And then the finishing touch, I saved the box from the Big Mac from earlier. I cleaned it out, and I just want to see if this fits in there, which it does. In that goes, and just to kind of give it that finishing touch of being crammed into a box it doesn't really want to fit in. There we go. One Big Mac. God, that was a lot of effort. Not sure it was worth it. Let's find out. So here we go, side by side. Let's do a grand reveal. Which is it? Oh, well, I think it's pretty blimmin' obvious which one is which. I didn't really succeed on the appearance, did I? I mean, obviously that burger bun is much more golden and bigger than that one. Maybe I should have bought a sesame seed bun just from the shops, but I mean, if you're going to recreate the Big Mac, you might as well go all in and try and do the whole thing, the burger, the bun, everything. I mean, I'm happy with how those burger buns turned out. They were immense, and they were big enough to kind of cut into 3, so saved the job of using a bottom of another one, saves food waste. But the interesting thing is going to be in the taste, because have I managed to recreate a decent Big Mac sauce? Have I managed to cook that burger so it tastes like that bland piece of shit in here? Oh dear. But before I taste this one, I really need to taste this one. And in defense to this one, it is stone cold now. It is so stone cold, I'm surprised it hasn't given me a stunner. Size-wise as well, that one is much bigger than that one. But again, I'm going for taste. So let me taste this one first. They are so messy to eat. I'll be honest, even cold, it doesn't change the eating experience too much. That is probably my first bite of a Big Mac in probably over, like, I don't know, 5 years. And even cold, it hasn't changed much at all. And it is because of that Big Mac sauce. That is what makes it a Big Mac. More so than the construction, more so than, you know, the sum of its parts. It is that sauce that makes it a Big Mac. That is the flavour that gets into everyone's brain. That is why people come back to it. That is why people go to it in like a foreign country. They go to a McDonald's because it is familiar. That's what gets lodged in their brain. So with this, if I'm going to have any degree of success, I need to have gotten at least close with that burger sauce. So let's give this one a try. I mean, it's warm, so it's already a step above. So cheers. You know what? That's almost there. That is almost there. When you get a bit of a bite of everything with the sauce, the pickle, the onion, you know, the cheese and everything, that is kind of reminiscent of a Big Mac. I'm not saying it tastes bang on to a Big Mac, but again, it's kind of like that second cousin to a Big Mac sort of taste. As I said earlier, Big Mac, that is kind of there. You know, I'm pretty happy with that attempt. One thing I am going to do quickly, a quick cross section so we can see how they both look side by side. So side by side with the cross section, doesn't actually look too far off, does it? That is definitely flatter than that one, but in terms of like the texture of the burger, that's pretty close, and the layering, that's pretty close as well. So I don't think I was too far off. I'm pretty happy with that on the whole. Not bad at all. And I almost forgot the milkshake. Like I said, you can't have a Big Mac without a McDonald's milkshake, and this is a McDonald's milkshake. So cheers. Very, very nice. Unmistakably got fresh banana in it though. That is much healthier than the other one because it has got fresh banana in it. And I know exactly what's gone into that, where God knows what's in the natural McDonald's milkshake, but still very tasty. Well, there you go. My attempt at recreating the signature dish that is the Big Mac. Wasn't trying to make it better, I was just trying to recreate it. How do you think I did? Let me know. Well, as to whether it's worth recreating at home, well, of course it is, but just make it better. Don't try and do what I did and try and kind of recreate it exactly, including like all the weird textures that you get from fast food takeaway. If you're gonna make that kind of burger at home, make it really, really good. Get all the best ingredients that you can. Treat the meat well, don't overwork it, don't chuck it in the microwave, but definitely make those burger buns because they'll make any burger great. They were kind of a bit too good for my needs, but they came out really, really well. So obviously make those another time if you want to make really, really good burgers. But it was a fun experiment. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you did enjoy it because I would like to go back to that book again and maybe push myself out of my comfort zone a bit more, because there's all sorts of other things in there that are a bit weird and wonderful that I would have absolutely no idea where to start making. So we've got things like, you know, crab omelette and caviar jelly with cauliflower cream. All kinds of things that are from Michelin star restaurants and things like that that are completely out of my wheelhouse, which I would probably actually really like to try another time. So if you would like to see me do something else out of this book, let me know in the comments. But that's it from me this week. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then obviously like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to find out when new videos go up, and I will see you next time on Big Foodie Geek. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Then on with my dough hook. Then on with my dough hook.